What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and my God, here we go. The first, really, I think, in my opinion, next-gen game. We're going to be talking about Spider-Man Miles Morales, PS5, and I will mention the PS4 stuff as well, but generally, this is going to be talking about the review scores. This is going to be talking about what people online are saying about Spider-Man. I didn't see any, in my opinion, honestly, spoilers from what I saw. I watched like 5 different reviews. I read a bunch of different reviews. Nothing really stood out, at least in the ones that I picked, that were spoilers. So I don't have any spoilers to give you guys, so you can rest assured there's nothing there. Okay, so we're going to talk about that really quickly. If you guys are not already subscribed to this channel, please do hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. All of my other social media stuff, my Twitter, my Discord, and my second channel are all in the description below if you guys want to support me there. And let's just do this. So this, I think Demon Souls will be another level only because it's only on PS5. It's Blue Point. We'll see what they can do with it. But Miles, I mean, my God. So it's got an 85 right now on Metacritic. Jay and I, when we did the review predictions on this channel, we came in a little high, didn't we? I believe I said like an 88 to 91. I think he said somewhere in the range of like a 91 to 93, somewhere there. So I came in just slightly a little bit too high. And now, again, I don't go based off of review scores. I mean, I love to hear what people have to say about things, so I take those into consideration, but like the review score, the 85, okay, that doesn't change anything for me on Miles. It honestly is everything from again, what I've seen, what I've heard, what I've read, seems like everything I was expecting of this. This is a 10 to 12 hour game. If you do everything, if you try to platinum it, which many people that reviewed it already have platinum, it's another one of those easy platinums, which there's nothing wrong with that. It can get you, from what I saw, anywhere between like 17 and 20 hours. So I know the price is a bit, you could say annoying, but I know the price is a bit steep, especially if you consider it to be, and I heard again many, many times, Lost Legacy. This is the Uncharted Lost Legacy of Spider-Man. Again, there's nothing wrong with Lost Legacy. There's nothing wrong here. I get $50 is obviously more than what you would have paid for something like this if it came out, say, like a year ago, or even like, honestly, 2 to 3 months ago. And, obviously this could be part of the Spider-Man Remastered if you buy that $70 version. But from what I've seen, I mean, honestly, I'll pay. I mean, because I'm buying just this. I'm not getting Spider-Man Remastered, but I will easily pay $50 for, I'm going to platinum this game. So I'll pay $50 for 15 to 20 hours. I really see no problem in that. Let's talk about some of the biggest strengths and some of the biggest weaknesses. So the strengths, it's hard to say really anything before you talk about the graphics and how the game looks and how the game performs, and that it performs amazing. The load times are basically non-existent. The graphics, whether you're, now I've seen mixed things, but generally if you do that 30 frames per second, that high fidelity mode, the one with ray tracing, it literally is next to impossible to do anything but that. And that's what I saw. That was honestly the reoccurring thing I saw from everybody was, to be honest, maybe even start, and I don't know if I'll do this, to be honest with you guys. I want to just play it with the ray tracing. I want to play it looking its absolute best. I was going to say feeling its best. The issue is technically that 60 frames per second, from everything that I've seen, seems to be, like, again, the most fluid, the most, like, you're going to really feel like you are Miles when he's jumping around, when he's swinging, when he's mainly fighting. Mainly the combat really gets boosted by that 60 FPS, but as I said, even I said this a few weeks ago, there is that cutback. If you want to do 60 frames per second, you are going to lose a lot of the more specifics that the game is going to kind of like highlight when you do the 30 frames. And yet again, when you do the 30 frames, it's not going to have the greatest draw distance. It's not going to have a lot of, it's not, again, you're sacrificing one thing for the other, basically. But from everything that I saw, if you start with the 30 frames and the ray tracing, it's next to impossible to do that and then go to 60 frames, because the drop of textures, the drop of reflections, the drop of just all those very, very small ray tracing details that you're going to get with it are, like, it's enormous, and you're going to absolutely see that. And to be honest with you, I think I could even see, now it's harder to see on just a computer screen, but I think you can honestly see if you watch people, go back and forth between the two. Obviously, when you see it on your TV, it's obviously going to be a lot different, but so graphically amazing. The story seems to have equal, if not even more heart to it than the original, 2018 Spider-Man, which I like. I've seen a lot of people say that it's a little bit more drawn out. It's it's a little bit more boring, and not necessarily maybe even boring, but just there's not as much excitement, which is fine. You know what I mean? They're doing something completely different. Or they want to do something different here with the storytelling, because when you do everything else, it is very much. I think if you guys have seen gameplay, especially even today, you'll see it's very similar. Now they've made some changes from what I've seen. Again, the side quests and stuff like that. They really tried to just pick the best of basically the Spider-Man ones, or use the most high octane moments and put them in this, which is good, because I do agree with everybody that said this, that I love the PS4. I love Spider-Man PS4, but to do the platinum, to get everything in this game, to have to do all of the side quests and the crimes and stuff, which they've toned back on crimes, but it seems like obviously it's still there, just not, as much in the front. It could get very, very boring, very, very repetitive, very, very quickly. I don't think that's unfair to say at all. And then this game, I think, does it a little bit better from what I've seen. So, I feel like those are kind of the strengths and weaknesses. The weaknesses seem to be, obviously, it's not too long. By the time it really gets going, it's over. The gameplay is largely the same. Although, what the DualSense controller can do, I've seen a lot of people very much, say very positive things on what the DualSense controller can do for Miles, that elevates it to a brand new level. Again, the game, and obviously, I'm not saying, because ultimately I don't even have the game yet, I'm not saying even I've seen them say that Miles is like too similar to Spider-Man. I think the general idea, especially when you go through Metacritic and you look at all these review scores and if you read them, I feel like the general thing is there is a lot of similarities. They do enough to make Miles different, but it's still got that general similarity to it. And I feel like maybe that, and at the end of the day, look, this is a game they threw together in just a couple years. There's no doubt about it. I'm not discrediting, or I'm not like lowering the value of what having Miles as the lead of a game does, but make no mistake, this is a stopgap game. They gave us this to kind of hold us over until Spider-Man 2. And you could even say maybe this plan was done several years ago when Insomniac did this. Maybe Sony went to him and said, hey, we want to launch the PS5 with a Spider-Man game. Do you think you can get a Spider-Man 2 by then? And then Insomniac said, well, probably not. And they could say, okay, well, could you give us like a spin-off like an Uncharted Lost Legacy? We don't know necessarily how this was kind of, brought into the wild, right? But you got to imagine there was something like that being done. And that is going to hold it back, because ultimately this is not Spider-Man 2. I guess maybe I should have thought about that a little bit more when I did the review score predict. I am actually shocked this game is, right now, remember, Spider-Man got an 88. So right now this is doing, I guess, worse than it. 85 is phenomenal. It got a lot of 10s. It's also getting, though, some 6s and 7s, which is dropping the score, the average that you see. Ultimately, those are just a couple people, making up their mind and changing the review scores there. And ultimately, it's up to you and it's up to me to make our own decisions, right? We can only control, what ourselves think, right? So I'm still extremely excited for Miles. This didn't change anything. In fact, this actually did get me more excited, because while I am aware of the weaknesses, I honestly feel like I kind of was already expecting them. I was expecting this game to, I feel like once you get through all of the gloss, and again, obviously Miles, functions different. He fights different. He's got all of these different moves. But the game is going to structurally feel the same as Spider-Man PS5. I don't think that's unfair to say. I knew that going in, and that seems to be the biggest weakness. Then obviously you have the frame rate, I guess, problem, if you want to call it that. Again, I'm personally going to play it on the 30 frames per second, the ray tracing one, the high fidelity one. So let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? Are you still excited for this game? Do you agree with what you've seen from the review scores? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. All of my social media stuff is in the description below. My Twitter, my Discord, my second channel. I'll be doing a video talking about what the PS5 impressions are. I'm going to do that tomorrow morning. We're also going to talk about, hopefully early next week, there should be the Demon Souls reviews eventually out. So we'll talk about that. And obviously next week it's game time. It's with the time that you and me get to be able to play a lot of these games, which is very, very exciting. We'll all be able to talk about that together. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.